is to provide free coaching, focusing on topical issues that will benefit the professional, whether you are in employment or you are an employer. Our interest is to see how we can make your journey easier. Like I keep saying, not easy, but easier, so that you don't end up making mistakes that others have made. So that's the essence of what we try to do every month. And this month again, we will continue that conversation by focusing on a topic. But if you are new here, permit me to just run you through what it's all about. This is not just a training. This is more around experience sharing, coaching, learning from others, such that you do not have to repeat other people's mistakes, or you don't have to go on a limb or pay for your own experience. So we try to see how we could borrow from other people's experience. And since we started, we will always start on time, as we have done again today. The room will open about 15 minutes. Usually we open 30 minutes, but latest 15 minutes before the start of the program, the room is open. And we like to make it an interactive session where anybody who is on the program is free to contribute, either by speaking or by sending in a message. And as we grow this, we hope that when we call on you as volunteers, you'll be willing to come with us. So for today, we are focusing on something that we think is both current and fundamental. Current because when you look at the Nigerian environment from where we are transmitting, or you even look global, because this is not necessarily peculiar to Nigeria, you find out that our topic of today has something to do with what exactly is going on in the world of today. The other side of it is that it is also fundamental, simply because beyond where we are today. John, can you still hear me? Because it looks like my screen is freezing. Can you still hear me, please? Hello?
Yes, we can. We can hear you, Tima.
Okay. All right. So what we're talking about today, beyond the currency, is also the fact that it is a fundamental issue, because the impact goes beyond just what we are facing at the moment. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Well, it's saying that your screen sharing is paused. Is it still sharing?
Yes, focus of the day.
Now move to the tech paradox now. Can you see the next?
No, we can't. Maybe you should stop sharing and start
Okay,
sharing.
let me stop and start again. All right, so the topic that we're focusing on today is both current and fundamental, like I was saying. And current because it speaks a lot to the situation, at least in Nigeria right now. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. It speaks to the situation that we are in right now. And beyond the situation that we are in right now, it also speaks to something fundamental that drives the future. So I hope that you will all find value into this session. So today, we are exploring the concept of the tech paradox. So when you hear the word paradox, it's a mix. It both repels and attracts. It has both benefits and consequences. So what we are trying to do today is to explore that space so that the professional, whether you are an employee or whether you are an entrepreneur, you will find something useful that helps you to transit and navigate your way through this space. And we'll start with this interesting quote by Frank Herbert that says that technology is to help humans, okay? But what you find out is that in addition to helping, it's also destroying a lot of things. A whole lot of negativity is being driven by technology. I mean, recently, a lot has gone out around people running scams, sextortionists, all these issues going on. Recently, even in the Israeli-Lebanese war, it was very interesting to hear that pagers were now being used as weapon, all of this driven by technology. But it is the paradox of our time, and therefore, what we want to try and do today is to trace the journey in a manner that we get help and we build knowledge for everybody that is involved in this journey. So usually we will wrap our focus for the month around the story. And this month's story is around a young lady called Tara Mafoju. Okay, pun intended here. So if you know what that means in Yoruba, you know why we have chosen those names. So Tara Mafoju is an accountant, and then Tinubu hits Nigeria like it has done, and all of a sudden, life as we knew it became history and a tale that is told. And this young accountant is struggling to get her pay to take her home. And in that struggle, as is common in our world today, everybody's talking about tech, and it's obvious, everything is being driven by tech. There is no running away from it, whether it is in the handset that you are holding, or in the bank transaction you are trying to do, or in the cash you are trying to withdraw, or in the assignment that's been given to your children from school. It's tech everywhere. Everywhere you can't run away from tech. Even small businesses that are thinking that they do not necessarily have to invest in technology, it is right in our face and there is no running away from it. So with that reality facing Tara, our first response is to say, you know what, let me even see what I can do with this tech. Everybody is saying that tech is coming, it's going to take over the world, it's going to take over our jobs. How do I position myself? She decided to then check on Instagram or IG, like the generation will call it, to say, okay, what can I find there? And then slowly she became addicted to social media, and she will get into this trap of scrolling endlessly from one thing to another, to another, to another. And at some point, she began to notice that, wait a minute, I'm trying to find how I can get better and make more money through tech. But now tech is even making more money through me, because now she has to spend more money on power, more money on data. And then the question is, wait, what do I do? I'm looking for a solution. I thought tech was the way out. It doesn't look like it right now. What is the way out? And that is what has birthed what we are talking about today. When we consider any concept or issue in our program, we are intentional to find out what research is saying about it. And there is this 2024 Edelman Trust Barometer report, which is saying that technology, even though it is accepted and is the thing that powers everything, I mean, it's interesting. I'm very excited about technology, you know. I'm also very excited about space travel. Some astronauts and cosmonauts just returned from space. And it's interesting to hear that people are just going to space and coming like they are going to Oshodi or going to Ibadan. It's very interesting. Technology is powering everything. One of the ladies, I think, on this last Voyager that just landed has been in space on this trip for over 1 year, living in space for over a year. How? And the interesting thing is that she's been back and forth like 3 times. This is not just go and come. I mean, there are even 2 astronauts that are stranded there now. The Dreamliner that took them there, they were not sure was going to bring them back. Now they are preparing to send another craft to go and pick them in February to bring them back. That's technology, okay? But as much as technology is driving everything, it helps us to predict weather, it helps us to predict agricultural patterns, is used for medicine, is used for science, is used for surgery, everything. Yet, it is a two-edged sword. It cuts in both directions. And this report is now saying that technology is at the point of inflection, because when you look at what artificial intelligence is doing and what people call deep fake and what people call impersonation, how they can clone this and clone that, a lot of trust issues are beginning to arise. But take it or leave it, and I'm sure this is not a matter for debate. Technology is here to stay, and it is driving everything else that we're doing. So there is no running away from it. What we need to do is to find a way to get the right handle on how to deal with it. The research also shows, different research also shows that there are pros and cons for technology. What are some of the pros? It helps us to be more productive. I am working on an app that is about to launch in a couple of days. And the developers are in India and we're in Nigeria. And we work like we are together. Right now, in this generation, when you hear that I'm at work, it's different from I'm in the office. Growing up, and I can say I'm one of the fortunate generation because I experienced both. Growing up, when somebody says I'm at work, it means I am in the office. It can't mean anything else. In our generation, I'm at work can be completely different from I'm in the office. Technology makes it possible for you to do 5, 6, 10 things at the same time across different time zones, across different regions. And it's amazing what we're able to do in this time and age because of technology. It also is very useful for education. I'm sure many of us still remember the experience of COVID and how learning had to become remote, and the world has remained in that space up till now. People are more connected. I don't know where I was recently, and we're talking about, I was teaching a class, I can't remember now, and we're talking about what it was like when all we had was writing letters. I used to have a PO box actually. You write letters and then you wait for 1 month for it to get there, another month to get back. All of a sudden today, in those days when a child is going to school, that's it. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Until the child shows up anytime, you have no idea what's going on in school. Now, your child can be across the globe from here to Australia, and you can be in constant contact on a daily basis. That is what technology is making possible. Healthcare is exciting now. Diagnosis is better technology, telemedicine. A doctor can be seeing a patient from one end of the world. The possibilities are endless. And there are many companies that exist today, many industries exist today that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, nobody even had any idea that those industries could exist, let alone support the amount of lives and delivering the kind of impact that they're delivering. So the pros are very clear, but the cons or the other side are also not lost on us, because if care is not taken, technology is disrupting life the way we know it. A lot of people are addicted when they are not with their phones, when they are not in an internet-enabled environment. You will actually see visible impairment and discomfort in their functioning. Some can't sleep because they are always struggling to drop their gadgets and just rest. They are afraid of missing out. Okay? They are always struggling to want to be in this, to want to be in that. And because of the proliferation of what is possible with technology, it is impossible for anybody to catch up with it. And we are going to get some of those things in a bit. So addiction, decrease in attention span, the impact is even much worse on the children that are being born today and are being raised without any consciousness of the impact that technology can have on them. Parents now use technology as an escape from caring for their child. So when the child is crying, they open something and give it to the child, and that's it. The child keeps quiet. But we are raising very dysfunctional kids now that cannot connect, that cannot relate, that do not know how to socialize, how to handle conflict. And that's why you see that you can hear stories of a 7-9-year-old or 9 or 10-year-old committing murder of a cousin, or I think it was a cousin, simply because they had a disagreement over a gadget. Because number one, that's the kind of pattern they are seeing in what they're watching. But number two, they've not been exposed to fighting over toys and making up. They've not been exposed to somebody getting a gift and the other person not getting, and then learning to share with others. So technology is leading to a lot of dysfunctional behaviors, particularly in the younger children. People are now hiding behind their gadgets. They have phobia for connection, phobia for face-to-face interaction. You have a lot of cyberbullying. People are being stalked. Those who cannot stand in front of people to say one word, they hide behind their keyboard and become warriors. And they are throwing missiles, okay? And if the person on the other end has not built capacity for dealing with this, it becomes a problem. I've spoken about sleep disturbances. It has physical health issues. Some have wrist problems because of always typing. Some have back problems because of bad postures. The impact is just endless. And if care is not taken, this can become very debilitating. So what we are therefore saying is, in this particular program, is there is the advantage, there are the disadvantages that come from technology. How do we find the balance? How do we ensure that it doesn't overwhelm us? Because it has physical health impact on those who are exposed to it. You hear now that they say that sitting is the next smoking. Technology is one of the reasons why people struggle to even get up. Because right on that seat, they can type, they can chat, they can walk, they can send files, they can get on calls, they can attend meetings. Eyes are being damaged, this endless screen time. People are developing health complications, neuroskeletal, neurological. Everything is all over the place. And some are even developing serious mental health. Anxiety is on the rise now. People who are not living life half as good as you are, they go on social media, they go on the internet, and they package and wrap themselves like they are shining in gold. And somebody who is not conscious or wise enough or matured enough start having headaches to say, yeah, see my life, see what my mates are doing. Meanwhile, that mate that you are growing gray hairs over is praying to have half of the life that you have. People are anxious, people are depressed because of what the toxicity that exists on technology. People are experiencing burnout because there is now no distinction between work and home and work and life. Some people do not even know when to stop. They work and work and work and work until they burn out. and most employers don't even care enough. Again, 1 million followers does not translate to 1 million friends. 1 million followers does not translate that there is any quality relationship that exists. Unfortunately, the world we live in is a world where likes, posts, retweet, followers, friends is what is being used to measure the quality of relationship and quality of life. But again, time and time again, we are seeing that that is not it. So these are the things that exist from what research has found as a result of technology, all right? The question then is, if all these things are there and there is no running away from them, even if you want to run underground to go and hide inside one cave, you still need technology because life wasn't designed that way. So this conversation, therefore, is about one thing and one thing alone. It's about finding balance. Okay? It's about finding balance. Now, if you're on this call, can you please get on the chat and just write or type or mute your mic and say, what is one area that you consider an area of improvement for you as far as technology is concerned? What is one improvement area? One area you will really like to improve as far as technology is concerned? Anybody? Feel free, get onto the chat box and let's see if you have anything. Anybody? What do you have are you conscious of one area that you would like to improve on as far as technology is concerned? Yes, feel free to drop your message. And if you want to talk, it's okay if you can. If you're in a quiet place, just unmute your mic and talk. Do you have any area that you would like to see improvement in as far as your tech life is concerned? Yeah? Drop your message. I'll pick it up as I go. So this concept is about finding balance. And before I go too deep into what I'm talking about today, I'd like to point out that when we talk about balance goes beyond just technology. Balance also is about money, it's about food, it's about diet, it's about work. It's a concept that is very, very relevant across board. So when we talk about balance, we are touching on something that if you apply yourself to and you give yourself to, you will be well benefited from it. When you look at the image here, I hope you'd notice that every one of these things is being counterbalanced by the other ball. They are all just resting on one base. And in reality, this is what we need to pursue and be very intentional about. Okay? So the core concept for today is about finding balance. Now, if we want to talk about it, like I have said, you can't run away from technology. But unfortunately, tech is like a loaded gun, and where the trigger trap has already been unhooked. So any careless dance around the trigger, the gun can go off, which therefore means that it has to be handled with care. So what is required is balance. Now, balance may mean different things to different people, but there is no doubt as to what it means to be out of balance. Once you are out of balance, you begin to experience impairment, you begin to experience discomfort, you begin to experience inability to function effectively. You begin to see that your life begins to get skewed in one direction. And it matters not which direction. This is not even just about what you consider to be bad. If you overwork yourself, or you overeat, or you don't eat enough, or you oversleep, or you don't sleep enough, or you are very careless with money, or you are a hoarder, you don't want to spend money even on yourself. It doesn't matter which end you are swinging to. It becomes dysfunctional. So the concept of balance, therefore, is how do you make the most of everything that you got? How do you make the most of everything that you have? How do you find that point where you are making the most of both ends of the divide? That is what this conversation is all about. But if we bring it in and zone in on our conversation around technology, when we talk about the paradox, the tech paradox, for me, it's about two broad lines. The first is about whether you are trying to build a competency, or you are trying to build an identity or a brand or a profile. And I need you to please come with me, because this is the core of this program, of this episode. You need to be clear as to what exactly you are trying to do with technology. And from my own literature, these are the two broad categories. Somebody who is trying to build a competency means that this person is trying to use technology to acquire a skill, to acquire some capacity, to acquire some competencies, to develop some know-how about certain things. On the other hand, technology has also made it possible for us to use it to build an identity. It could be an identity for an organization. So you find people going onto technology, digital media, social media, to advertise, to promote, to sell, or sometimes it is even an individual. Now, being an influencer has become a career. People just want to become subject matter experts, or they want to be the notorious boy on certain things, or whatever it is they are trying to push. They want to build an identity that builds a following, because the world that we live in today allows you to monetize. It could also be for an individual who is trying to build a professional profile. I am this, I've done that. So you go to places like LinkedIn, people are packaging themselves and they're projecting themselves. To my mind, these are the two broad categories of what you could be doing with technology in this time and age. What then leads you effectively is when you are starting from a clear goal. If you are going to find the right balance in technology, you must start with a clear goal. A lot of people are just jumping into this, not realizing this dichotomy, and not realizing, and I'll get to it in a minute, how this aligns with their personality. As an individual, and unfortunately for many of the people that work in my team, I am very reticent. I am very afraid. I'm not comfortable with noise and publicity. So I struggle with the use of technology because I am more paranoid about what can go wrong than what can go right. If you now ask me to be the person who wants to be a social media influencer, money meets road. The two cannot align, because I don't enjoy putting myself out there. I don't enjoy being in the news. I don't enjoy being the subject of conversations. But there are people who enjoy that, and they are more inclined in that direction. So you need to know that when we speak about the tech paradox, the very first step is to establish a goal. What is your goal? And you cannot establish clear goals until you have answered the purpose question. I know somebody here is saying we are back to this purpose thing again. Unfortunately, yes, it is at the center of everything. Purpose, purpose, purpose. Even to lose weight, if you don't have the clear purpose, it becomes very difficult to do. So I won't be talking too much on the concept of purpose. If you want to know about it, please go to our YouTube channel, Development, Empowerment, and Leadership Initiative. We have a lot of content there on purpose and many other relevant topics. I'm sure we now have over 150 videos, different videos there covering different things. I'm sure you'll find something that's very useful for you. But purpose. You want to live a meaningful life, establish purpose. You want to live an impactful life, establish purpose. You want to live an enjoyable life, establish purpose. There's no running away from it, because once the use of something is not clearly established, abuse, misuse is inevitable. So find time, establish purpose, and from that purpose, you are then able to find an expression for the purpose, which is the goal that we are talking about. Now, how should you use technology? Depending on the two tracks that you are on. If your focus for tech is to build competencies, it means that your social media consumption or utilization must be very low. Because social media, unless you are using it to make money, either for yourself by way of building a brand, or for your organization, or becoming an influencer, or pushing some content or whatever, social media is one of the worst time consumers, and that one of the things that can lead to absolute lack of productivity. So if you are trying to build competency, the dial on your social media odometer has to be very low. There's no running away from it to connect with the people that you are studying with or the community that you belong to. Yes, you need some of it, but very low. But for study, taking a course, taking a program. And when people hear about tech, many people think only of coding. But no, tech goes beyond just coding. There are many, many, many other areas of tech, that you could use, that you could start now, that would earn you extra income, that would redirect and reshape your career, that would move you in the direction that you really want to go. So let's touch on a few of them while we're on this page. There is a coding part, yes, and there are different elements in this coding part. You could be a developer that is focusing on just web design. You could be an engineer that is focusing on front end. You could be a back end. And in this generalization that I'm talking about, there are many, 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 many different languages that you can learn to speak. So, and there are those that call themselves full stack developers because they can do front end, they can do back end. There's even the mobile part. Again, these are coding-based career or skills that you could have. But that's not all. There are those that are also not necessarily coding. You can build capacity in data, giant data analysis, data processing. The reason is the presence of technology says that we are now generating tons and tons and tons and tons of data. In fact, data is now being touted as the next gold. Okay? So what that therefore means is that there will be need for people who know how to make sense out of this data. This is not one Excel file. These are tons and tons and tons of data. So visualization, analysis, building insight, trending is another completely different area. You have things like cybersecurity. You have things like even project management. You have things like Scrum Master. You have things like product manager, different skills. So when we talk about building a competency, particularly in these tumultuous times, and you are struggling with money and you want to expand your base and you are thinking of technology, the landscape is very wide and right in front of you. What you should do, like I said, is establish your purpose. Now, if I can go on a small tangent here. Where did we do that? I think it was in the program I had last week. Okay, so you can be doing this around your current competency. Yes, I had a program on career transition and growth. So, as an accountant, as an example, if I have head for figures, data science may be something that is of interest to me because if I see data, I'm able to make better financial judgment because I'm trained as an accountant. If somebody here has studied statistics and demography, you may be drawn towards data because it expands you. It's also possible that you are interested in something completely different. You are somebody who likes to take an idea and turn it into a finished product, whether it's a service or a product. Now you are going towards product management, you are going towards project management. So the possibilities are endless for you. Your job is just to make sure you find an alignment with who you are. You must find that alignment with who you are. Do not just do this because it is the latest fad and everybody is doing it. No, there may be opportunities for you even around your space. Somebody is an HR professional and then she's trying to run after data science when even things like compensation, even things like remuneration, even things like talent management, even things like training and development that are still domain around HR. He or she is not even well established in that. He's now running after data science. And it's not because the person has head for numbers. It's simply because it is popular. So you need to step out of this boxing and this mad rush without thinking. Look inside and find out, who am I? Again, going back to purpose. And then what is the goal I'm trying to chase? What is this thing that I really enjoy? Then look at the tech space and see how you can expand your capacity around those things. So if you're on a building competency track, most of your time goes into studying, reading, researching, taking this certification, taking this exam, going on this internship. You are studying, you are applying, and you are networking. Tech paradox. How do you find the balance? We are saying that if you're on the competency track, your social media usage is minimal, but you are always using tech to study, using tech to network. That way, you have defined a boundary for yourself that keeps you safe. I'll get to it in a minute. But if for you, either as an entrepreneur or working in an established organization, or you have an individual content you want to post, you are a content, you are a stand-up comedian, whatever you are, it's around building followership, it's around building visibility, about building a brand, about building a profile. Your usage of technology is different from the person that is trying to build capacity. Build competency. Because for you, most of the work you do is on social media, on this channel, that product, this one, that one. So your social media content is very, very high. Or maybe you want to play in that space as a manager, to manage brand, to manage profile. That's where your job is. You are posting this, you are retweeting that. The study leg is not zero, but it's not as high, as intense as it would be for the person that is trying to build competency. And of course, you are always networking. Which other channel, which other product, which other, because your own journey requires that you put yourself out there. Now, a note of warning. As exciting, as interesting as this is, I'm sure that we all know that if you don't set boundaries, if you don't practice mindfulness, if you are not intentional to engage yourself in the real world around you, you are likely going to run into trouble. Many people have lost their peace, because they were expecting this amount of retweets, this amount of posts, this amount of followership is not happening. And then that's why you see many people go to no, they go all out, they spare no means at all just to get followership. Some are doing very reckless things simply because that is what catches the eyeballs on social media. You need to be careful. You need to be intentional. What's going on? You need to be intentional with what you're doing with technology, because if you are not careful and you do not intentionally follow these things that we have been talking about, you can find yourself on the wrong side of technology. So for you to, can you still see my screen? It's saying that my sharing is paused again.
Yeah,
Let
yes.
me reinitiate it, because I think something happened here. Am I back on now?
Yes, not fully. It's showing your notes.
Okay. I think I'm sharing the wrong one. So let me share now. Sorry, just a minute. Technology. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay, confirm, you can see.
Coming up. Yes, we can see your screen.
All right. So for you to therefore make the most of technology, please note these points that we have raised here, which is the fact that you have to be intentional about setting boundaries. Do not just use technology without boundaries. Boundaries around the amount of time you put into it based on the track that you are traveling, what you are going to put out there, what you will not put out there. Some people have gotten it very right. Even though they are very visible, they are very public, you cannot find anything private about them online. Their families, their jobs, they have drawn up very clear boundaries. This is for public, this is for private, and they guard it jealously. Okay? Practicing mindfulness means that you are conscious of your consciousness. You are conscious of where your mind is. You are conscious of what you are thinking about. You are conscious of how you are processing what you are taking on social media or what you are taking on the internet, because not everything that you see online is correct. In fact, there are more things that are fake and untrue and unreal online than the real ones. The other point is, do not hide behind technology. Don't hide behind technology. Engage in the real world. Build face-to-face interactions. Okay? Build connections. Some people have 1 million followers, but when they run into trouble, there is not one person they can call, confident that this person is going to pick my call and he will run after me. You need to build real, authentic relationships. They are not done behind the screen. They are done from human to human interaction. So that has to be very, very clear in your mind. And as you are running through this, like I've said, watch out for these traps. There's a lot of toxicity going on online. You must ensure that you avoid it. You need to be very, very intentional to remember that tech is just a means to an end. I say that again. Technology is just a means to an end. It is not the end in itself. So you have to learn to use it as a tool and not turn it into a life. There is more to life than tweets and likes and friends and followership. There's a whole lot more to life than that. All right? So you need to remember that and be guided by it. So let me share these few tips with you before I get to the next steps, and I will stop, which is, if you want to make the most out of technology, It doesn't even matter whether you're on the capacity building or you are in the brand building part of the journey. You must remember that this technology was not designed with your productivity in mind. It was designed with your distraction in mind. The people that came up with these apps and all these things, they didn't design it to help you become more productive. They designed it to get your attention and consume your time. So you must be intentional to take over your control from them. And one of the first things I recommend to you is turn off notifications. Turn off all your notifications. You must be selective in your notifications. So let it be the thing that you want to know when they come in. It could be around your transactions. It could be around family. It could be around your core deliverables on your job. Everything else, turn it off so that you go there when you want to. You don't get your piece distracted with vibration ringing, vibration ringing, vibration ringing. So you know when your phone rings, it means it is something that has to be attended to, and then you go attend to them. It's extremely important because that is where the disruption starts from. And then be conscious of how you are using it so that you can compare. If you find yourself spending so much time on social media when you should be studying, by tracking, this is also part of mindfulness. By tracking, you're able to say, wait a minute, I'm spending too much time on this. I've seen people go on social media fast, close all their accounts, delete all their accounts, or just sign out of them and just don't go there. The world will not, the world will not come to an end. Don't continue to suffer from FOMO, fear of missing out. A lot of people are suffering from FOMO. There is only, even if you don't sleep for a year, there's only so much you can catch up with. So track how you are using it, and then based on your desired outcome, based on your goal that you've set, adjust yourself accordingly. This number 3 is very important. There's no running away from it. You need to build capacity for the toxicity that exists in the digital space. Some of these are not even directly inflicted. Some are indirectly inflicted. Somebody goes on LinkedIn and says, congratulations. I mean, I'm happy to announce that I've joined this company. I'm happy to announce I've acquired this certificate. And people just go and do a lot of hype. Sometimes I see people in real life and I see their digital personality and I say, wow. The person doesn't know this person will just go and commit suicide, thinking that, oh, what am I doing with my life? See what this person is doing. This is where emotional agility comes in. This is different from emotional intelligence. Emotional agility says, how can you use your emotions to your advantage? How can your emotion work for you compared to working against you? Many people, their emotions work against them. I can't cover that today, but read up on emotional agility. You need to build agility around your emotions such that you don't get consumed by whatever is negative in the social media. And these are things that will help you to stay safe. Remember, it starts with you being clear as to what your goal is in this tech world. Everything is possible. Artificial intelligence is coming. It's going to change the way we work. I don't necessarily believe it's going to take over all the jobs, but it's going to change the way we work. And those who can morph with it are the ones that are going to enjoy the benefit. Last but not the least, in this staying safe tip is build a support structure. Let there be people you can talk to about how you are feeling about stuff. Let them be people who are sufficiently matured and exposed who can help you to remain balanced. Because a lot of people are destroying themselves. And one of the things you must never forget is that the internet also never forgets. Many people are destroying themselves. They are destroying their future because they want to be relevant today. They want to have the loudest noise on Twitter street. They want to have the biggest followership. And when they put these things out, they cannot bring them back. So rather than going to the extreme, build a support structure. Find somebody, find a group of people where you can talk and share opinions, and you can get the right perspective out of life. And that also will help you to remain grounded because you have real relationship that is for you. So your next steps, as you will expect, be clear about your goal. Technology can help you this time. And like I said in my opening statement, it goes beyond even this economic crisis. It's about the future. Technology is coming and it's disrupting everything, every single thing. So quickly establish your goal and get running with it. It will not only help you today, it will not only help you in this economy, it will prepare you for the future, and it will give you more control and more confidence about the journey that is still ahead. Remember that you don't have to do it the way everybody else is doing it. Okay? Align your goals with who you are. The word is reconcile. Don't follow anybody. And there's nothing you want to do in this world that you cannot do well, that you cannot succeed at, that you cannot be happy with. I'll share a story with you. I saw something this week of a 33-year-old software developer who resigned from coding and went to start a business that trains people on how to play the guitar. Yes, you heard me. This tech that we are running to, that we are talking about, a 33-year-old established developer resigned from a software writing job to go and set up a company that teaches people how to play the guitar. And guess what? He has now grown that business, I think it's less than 2 years, to making about 700,000 USD per month, teaching people how to play the guitar. I want that to sink in. It's about excellence. It's about excellence. There is nothing you want to do that there is no market for once you do it well enough. When I saw that story, it kind of dazed me. You will expect somebody who is teaching people how to play the guitar to want to run towards technology. But this guy left the tech job because he wasn't aligning with his person. He was not aligning with his passion. Now he's making over 700K USD per month. And he's leading a team of at least 10 people. He has been able to hire 10 people to join him. How do you explain that? So people, don't run anybody else's race. Don't. Find purpose, set goals, and then run after it. Technology means that there are no boundaries, there are no limits for you. I remember in those days, those who had communication channels, whether it's a radio or a TV station or a newspaper, they were king, because for you to get to even be able to showcase what you are doing, you must have a godfather somewhere who is bankrolling what you're doing. Now, technology has democratized everything. The only thing that can hold you back is mediocrity or lack of clarity. There's nothing you want to do that you cannot succeed at. So reconcile with your person. Who are you? Again, self-awareness. Who are you? What are your strengths or weaknesses? What's your life purpose? What goals should you be pursuing? The clearer you are on those points, the easier it is for you to set a goal. And then once you set a goal, build the discipline. Okay? Build the discipline. Not only when it is convenient, not only when you feel like it, keep going after it. You won't travel too far before you get the benefit, and you are going to be the better for it. So, let technology improve your life. Don't let tech become your life. Technology is a means to an end. Tech is a tool. It is not the end in itself. It is therefore up to you in these tumultuous times to see how, one, you can make tech power you into a more comfortable financial position. And usually the problem is that people are lazy. People want it easy. People want it to drop on their lap. But give yourself 6 months, give yourself 9 months, your story will change. It's again about the discipline. So you want to get out of this, but be sure that whatever you are running after is not because it's popular, it's not because everybody else is doing it, it's not because it is easy, it's simply because it aligns with who you are, it aligns with where you are going, and you are ready to do whatever it takes to get you there. So manage your phone. Don't let it manage you. Don't become a slave for technology. Thank you very much. The floor is open now. Comments, questions, contributions, anybody? Yes. Comments, questions, anybody? Yes.
Who have a coach in front of their name should please rename their devices.
Okay. That's true. Yeah, because we shared the last link that didn't require registration. Please, you can just rename, so at least we have an idea of who you are. That will help. Comments, questions, contributions. Hello. Am I alone today? Comments, questions, contributions. Going. Comments, questions, contributions. Can anybody hear me? Esther Fatuki is clapping, yes. Comments, questions, contributions. Can we hear from you? Anybody saying anything? Now what to do?
Hello, Timak.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, Timak. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello, Timak.
Can anybody hear me? I can hear
Hello,
you.
Timak.
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, Timak.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, Timak, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for the outing and the topic, the conversation we've had tonight. Okay, so my question is that I will just need your insights, especially because of of course, you know Tamil very well, and
Yes.
you know I know you are also trying to get into his head at some points
Yes.
along the way. So his journey. Okay, so he did. He studied. He studied information technology in school right now. But I'm just a bit concerned with respect to his career. I've been asking him for some time that tech is wide and all that. So which area exactly do you want to would you want to specialize in, or would you want to develop further and all that? So it seems undecided. Originally, before I went to the university, is like he was interested in robotics. Okay, so he's out of the university now. He's talking about some other things. So it's like it's still very fluid. And I'm just thinking, what would your advice be in terms of how his area of interest can better be managed, be how it can actually focus on a particular area right now is not yet decided at all. So what is your suggestion in that direction?
Thank you, sir. It's a conversation I've been trying to have with him too. And thanks for bringing this up today. So it's similar to the journey of finding purpose. So the first thing is interest. What is his interest? He does not even need to have an idea of what he wants to do with the interest or where he is going with the interest. We need to start from the point of what is his interest. Is he interested in coding? Is he interested in the talking side? Is he interested in the selling side? What is his interest? If he cannot clearly pinpoint his interest, then the next option is, what are the opportunities available right now? Let him get started. It is in the process of that journey that he begins to find out, oh, I enjoy this. Oh, no, I don't enjoy this. Oh, I enjoy that. Oh, I don't enjoy that. One of the traps for children like this is that sometimes this I don't know is coming from laziness. and they don't know that
that's true.
Yes, it's my experience with them too. In their head, they don't understand that even if you want to become a thief, it's not easy. You have to plan.
Hello?
I can hear you, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I said,
yes, yes, I can hear you now.
They don't know that even if what you want to do is become a thief, it is not easy. You have to plan. You have to strategize. You must know where you are going. In fact, I love thrillers. And you know that to be a thief is not a straightforward line. So there is, even to be lazy is not free. It's not easy. So if we can take out the laziness bit of it, the next question is, what are his interests? Let's look at it. You just lay it on the table. There is the hardware, there is the software. Are you interested in hardware or software? Come to software. Begin to tease and tease and tease until you find an interest. But even if having done all of that, he can't clearly point to say this is my interest, then the next question is, what are the opportunities around? Because God doesn't make any mistake. Let's explore any opportunities. Just get him started. When he gets in, it's one of two things. Either he enjoys this one or he does not enjoy it. If he enjoys it, he begins to grow there. If he does not enjoy it, he start to look for, okay, maybe I will enjoy. So we start to eliminate until we narrow into something.
Okay.
I enjoy this, and then it goes from there. But usually, these are the two variables at the beginning like this, and then with a lot of readiness to work and try things out, something will click and say, I was in a session today and I really enjoyed it. Then we know that he has found his tribe, and then he can now become a tribesman. But usually that's what happens.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, question, comments, contribution. Anybody? Any other question? Any other comment? Any other contribution? Any other question? Any other comment? Any other contribution?
So, Timak, I want to ask a question.
Please go ahead, sir.
You talk about AI briefly, and
yes.
I just wanted to ask, what would be your recommendation to us in guarding against the negatives for every new technological advancement that we have? Everything that is new, there is a plus and there is a minus, and there can be, in fact, a bubble at some point. So what would be your recommendation to us in guarding against the negatives of this wonderful advancement we are in now?
Thank you, sir. So the advice is stay informed. Stay informed because it's a new technology. So even those who are pioneering it, they cannot completely define the boundaries. So you have to stay informed. And this is one of the things I tell people: stop living like an ostrich and trying to hide. Stay informed. You must be intentional to stay informed. Sincerely, I've been hearing, when you hear people talk about artificial intelligence, you probably think about it only in the form of ChatGPT or the AI channel on WhatsApp and what have you. But if that is all that you know, and you do not know that there's something they call deep fake, and you do not know about something they talk about that talks about how accounts can be cloned, how voices can be cloned, how this can be cloned, you will just be an accident waiting to happen. And even as we speak, nobody even knows how far it will go. But when you stay informed and you see how it is being used negatively, then you begin to know what to guide against. I have heard of the story of a company in the US where an accountant was fooled to transfer a huge amount of money because he thought that the call he was on, video call, the call he was on was from his MD. And it was after the person got the alert that said, who asked you to transfer this money? He said, you asked me to transfer. Me, how, where? So if you don't stay informed, you will only be part of the bad statistics. So you can't, that's why I said in this session, there's no hiding, there's no running from it. It is here. You have to stay. So once you now know that, okay, stay informed, people have been fooled where the voices of children have been cloned to make a phone call to their parents, that they have been kidnapped, that this, and that, and that, and that, and that. And the parents have been running around. Meanwhile, once they knew that this thing could happen, so when the person dropped, because they can fake to call you, but they can't fail you to call the right person. Everything will look like the same. It will look like the same person's number. Everything will be there. But when you now drop the call and call that person like the advice, did you just call me now that you have been kidnapped? Ah, daddy, they want to scam you. And then you know. In fact, there was a case I read in the US where a former police officer was in the process of being scammed by cloning the voice of his daughter, making it look like, oh, the world was going to come to an end. But that one, being a police officer, played along, got the police, and they arrested the guy. So just stay informed because it's completely new terrain and you don't want to be a bad statistic. So the more informed you are about this, the more you see the opportunities for yourself, for your line of industry, for your line of study, for your line of career, the more you also see the banana peels on the floor that you are going to avoid. You know, there was a time when people scamming on WhatsApp was very common. Text this code to me. Those who are informed now know that when you see a code on your phone that you did not request for, just wait. Anybody calling you is a scammer. So that is the only way to get around this. Stay informed, stay very interested. Don't act like it doesn't concern you, because if you don't change, you can get changed. If you don't move, you can get moved. And it will be a sad story if that is our experience. I hope I answered your question, sir.
You did. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ogamayowa, please go ahead. Can see your hand.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you for this wonderful session. I've gained a lot.
Thank you,
I
sir.
just have one question, and it's related to technology and abuse.
Yes.
So, how do we place the case of someone who the person has a very terrible or very bad eyesight. The person is short-sighted,
Okay.
and the person cannot really read anything on paper unless it's on screen and
Yeah.
it's brought close to her eye. The person had to look, read. In fact, there was a time where, the person was in church. People would just see this person pressing phone. They don't know that the person is trying to connect with the service, see things from the phone.
Yeah.
How do we place such, this is a peculiar case and is as a result of the short-sightedness. Could it also be termed as an abuse, or what's the place of balance in this scenario?
Okay, we thank you very much, Mayowa, for asking. But without trying to act like I have all the answers, have you heard of magnifying glass before?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I have a similar experience with some of my old people too. So what we got for them is a magnifying glass. If it's about reading,
Hello?
once you put the magnifying glass on top of the text, it just boom, makes it bigger. So they just run it across because it's actually easier. Usually these are elderly people. Even navigating technology is very painful for them. So if it's about reading, the magnifying glass is probably an easier solution. They can always carry it around with them. It's very light. Put it in your pocket. They give you something, just put it on top of it. It makes the letters much bigger, and then you can read. However, if the technology side is the one that is the easier or the easiest for the person to do, we can't call that abuse, because abuse is when it begins to affect normal functioning. So it's like people that are now leveraging on technology, they now have devices in their heart that makes them to be able for their heart to function well. They carry that around 24/7. That is a tool that is helping them to live better life, to be more functional. So the definition of abuse is when it begins to become a negative use. So there is a normal use. The abuse means the non-normal, the negative use. So if that technology is what helps these elderly people to be more functional, to be able to connect more, relate more. Some of them, they enjoy reading their Bible on these devices because they can make it very big. But like I said, sometimes they also struggle with how it works. So you may want to consider the magnifying glass as an easier alternative. But the short answer to your question is, I will not consider it to constitute an abuse, because it's actually technology being used to live a better life as against technology impairing the living of a full life. I don't know if anybody wants to contribute anything to that conversation or any of the questions, actually. Yes,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The floor is open for anybody who also wants to contribute to this. Okay, any other contribution? Any other question? Any other contribution? Any other question? All right. I think we've done well today. John, please, do you want to share we have a quick survey we'd like you to please just complete for us so that we get your feedback. Again, if you still have something to say, the floor is still open, but we are winding down now to this program. And next month, we will be starting our usual end of year sessions, where we are going to be reviewing at the beginning of the year. Some targets were set, some plans were made. By next month, we will be reviewing and then now trying to plan for 2025, setting goals, working it out to the point of impact, which is what do I need to start doing now. So it's the next 2 months are programs I don't want you to miss. Watch out for it. Tell your friends. You don't drift towards your destination. Nobody succeeds by accident. Nobody just wakes up one day and find themselves a success. It does not work that way. You have to be intentional about life before you can succeed with life. Nobody has all the answers, certainly not. But you just don't wake up one day and find out that you have succeeded. So our last 2 sessions for the year, the Lord's tarrying and sparing our lives, will be focused on planning. Yeah, we'll be focused on planning and on reviewing and then looking back to look forward and preparing for 2025. So you do not want to miss that. On the final note, is there still anything anybody wants to ask or talk about? Comment, questions? Anybody? So we have a Telegram group. John, you may want to drop that in the text box. You may want to join us. That Telegram group affords you the opportunity to drop any question you have at any time. Again, this program, this program is about providing coaching on the go. And if you don't want to be the one to drop the question directly, you can drop it with any of the admins and we will repost it, and then we will answer from our side, and we'll also seek contribution from other people so that at no point in time are you guessing or taking suboptimal decisions. So on behalf of everybody involved with this program, I'd like to just say a big, fat thank you to all of you for being here today, and wishing you the best for October. So the last quarter is upon us. It's not too late to pursue whatever it is that you set your mind to do. You can still get a lot done between now and the end of the year. So do not give up on the year at all. And it's also time now to start looking forward to the new year in terms of what is possible and what can be achieved. So on behalf of my producer and all the people involved in the program, thank you very much for being here today, and see you next month by God's grace. Take care and have a very good evening. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye.
And hope the change will come, and the world will sing my song. See the rising sun, oh, the light will shine on me.